I'm Rosemary Jameson and I run Jam Jar Shop with my husband, and we do it because there was a need. We still are jam preserves producers, but so many people asked us at food fairs for where we got our jars and could they buy them from us. So we started this about 18 months ago and haven't looked back. We started off in our garage at home with a couple of local teenagers packing jars and sending them out, and we now employ 28 people and got 3 warehouses, and that's just in 18 months. So it's a real market out there that delivers to people at home.
So originally you were frustrated about the availability of kilner jars and that sort of thing, were you? Or?
Well, I was buying them, I was importing them for my own business, for making the jam and so on, and so many people wanted them. And once we started to sell them online, we were contacted by UK manufacturers, and 70% of our stock is British made, which is great. And the other 30% we still import from Italy because they have beautiful bottles and because of the oil industry. But the UK stock has up to 70% recycled glass, which is all from doorstep collections. And a lot of the glass manufacturers actually invest in that recycling themselves and have their own plants and are involved in the doorstep collection. So people putting their jars and bottles into their recycling is very, very important, because glass can be endlessly recycled.
We have jamjarshop.com, and it's actually the largest online retailer now of jam jars and bottles in the country, and it's just taken off over the past year and a half and it's been phenomenally successful. But because Rosemary is passionate about the whole premise of the company, and the ethos is one of having people make the jams and preserves, what she did was she also started Jam on the Hill, where we make our own preserves and chutneys and sell them to local farm shops and delis, just so we can keep the community aware of what we're doing as a company.
I knew nothing really, only what everyone kind of knows, but we have got more involved, and to be honest, the industry kind of laughed at us at the beginning and didn't recognise a home market. They just sold into bottling plants for the big, like Heinz and people like that. But they've come round in that 18 months. We now consult to them if they're going to change a jar or introduce a new one. They'll ask us for our opinion because they now know how big the UK market is.
Now, I remember when I was a kid, my mother making jam, and the issue was how much pectin, natural pectin, there was in the jam. Do you give advice as to how to make sensible, consistent jam and so on?
Yes, absolutely. A lot of people do have problems when they're making it, and Rosemary will often get a call from some person in their kitchen who's having trouble with something setting, and she can give that advice. And also on our website we have recipes, and we also we do little short videos of how to make marmalade and jams. And a lot of the time with pectin we don't use anything artificial, and so pectin you get naturally from fruit. So if you're having a problem, maybe use a little lemon juice. But Rosemary can certainly assist with that, and we actually do run courses at Jam on the Hill where people can learn how to make jams and preserves.
We started the Guild of Jam and Preserve Makers, which was to unite everybody, because at the moment there's nowhere that, or nobody that people like Trading Standards can talk to that don't represent the commercial market. So now we've got industry members, we've got artisan makers as members, and we've got home producers as members. So the authorities can actually come to us as a voice, and things like legislation and labelling legislation and things like that, they can actually talk to somebody. And at our jam making base, we've now piloted a scheme for professional days, so that instead of people trying to get in touch with their local authority for help, they can come to us, spend a day with representatives and get the information they need, because it's quite hard to find if they're starting out as an artisan producer.
And how do you source your own fruit?
That is sourced locally almost entirely. It's actually from what is a pick your own farm, but we don't have time to pick it, so they do it for us. But it's all within 15 miles of us, apart from things like mangoes, which obviously have to come from abroad. But pretty much all of our policy and ethos as a company is to shop local and actually sell local. I'm not about shipping jam all around the country. We sell very locally to farm shops and delis and places like that.